Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm just a normal Brazilian dude, and today we're gonna react to how strong is United States military. Let's find out.
Why is the US military the strongest? Great military powers have been appearing and disappearing since the beginning of history. Now is the time for the United States of America to be the leader in military might. But what makes it so powerful? Will its power remain undisputed? Are there already signs of weakness? Would it really stand in a conflict with potential rivals like China or Russia? To find out, we should...
I could imagine the war with China against the United States. I sure, because the wars happen, in economics, in social war. This has happened, it's like a Cold War against the United States and Russia, but it's happened now. They are battling, but they are not battling the true war, and if one day this happen, I hope I'm dead, because I don't want to live in this world, because the only word comes to mind is chaos. There will be chaos in all world. Maybe extinction, never know.
Should analyse why exactly the US military is considered the strongest. The numbers. The US has 1 million...
Sorry, it stopped a lot, but I was thinking about, if the war happens, it don't matter if someone has a airplane faster, stronger, anything like that, because will be the nuclear bombs, will destroy everything, because we not gonna use nuclear bombs, but if your country is losing or something like that, you're gonna use everything you have, and both of them have nuclear bombs. Will be nuke everywhere. Russia, Europe, United States, China, even South America will suffer the nuclear bombs.
400,000 active military personnel. This figure places it in third place in this category. China has the largest army with slightly above 2 million soldiers, while India comes in second place. This doesn't sound that impressive, but what makes the US military stand out is not necessarily the raw number of men. The US has unquestionable air supremacy. The US military is number one in air power, with 13,264 total military aircraft, a total that is greater than the other 5 greatest air forces combined.
Damn!
2,085 are air-to-air fighters, 715 ground attack aircraft, 945 transportation aircraft, 5,768 helicopters, and 967 attack helicopters. The US is number one in each aircraft category, except for air-to-ground forces, where it's slightly topped by Russia. The US has a powerful navy that is designed to work in conjunction with its air...
And I have to say, a lot of things we don't know they have,
forces. It has 20 aircraft carriers. 11 are regular fixed-wing carriers, while 9 are capable of hosting only helicopters and short takeoff planes like the F-35B. This is almost half of the world's total number of aircraft carriers, while most of the others belong to allied countries. If we take into account only regular fixed-wing aircraft capacity...
It's kind of crazy, the world we're living in,
The total combined deck space of the US aircraft carriers is over twice that of all the other nations combined. To complement this, the US Navy has the greatest number of destroyers and ranks third in the number of submarines.
Damn.
The numbers of the US naval strength are a bit tricky. If we count the total number of naval assets, the US falls in fourth place, behind Russia and China, and even behind North Korea, that boasts a surprising first place. However, in case of a maritime conflict, it would still be hard to counter the power of the US Navy, supported by overwhelming air...
I know how this channel has this information, I'm not expert at all, but a lot of things I'm sure is secret, no one knows. Only United States know the true power they have. China, only China knows the true power they have. It's kind of crazy.
Air supremacy and allied forces. Land power. The US is slightly behind Russia regarding raw numbers. American ground forces number 6,280.
Sorry, stopping again, but ground. I'm not expert, but we have the unreal bombs today. You know, the ground forces, what they can do against that. You know, the soldiers only go to die.
89 tanks, 39,000 armoured vehicles, 1,465 self-propelled artillery, and 1,366 rocket projectors. However, Russia has a lot of outdated vehicles with questionable performance in case of a real conflict. Meanwhile, the US military has a broad technological edge. The US has 5,800 nuclear warheads that make it the world's second largest in nuclear warfare.
Now we're talking.
In this video, we're analysing the conventional military strength, but it can't be denied that a nuclear arsenal does bring a certain status.
Now we're talking.
Even if things don't escalate to a full-blown nuclear war, it's intimidating to any country to be armoured with such nuclear power.
Guys, not gonna fool ourselves. If United States are losing or anything close of that, they will use nukes. If Russia losing, they will use nukes. If China lose, they will nuke everyone. You know, that's why no one's fight. No, if nukes didn't exist, the war, the war, we gonna. How can I say that? Sometimes English is just difficult, you know. But the war wouldn't happen sooner. I don't think you guys understand what I'm trying to talk. But yeah, if nuke didn't exist, the war will happen more frequently, you know, because nukes can destroy the world. They don't fight because there will be no victory, the true victory, you know. Everyone will be destroyed, the world will be destroyed, everything will be destroyed if they really fight.
The quality. The US Army consists entirely of trained professionals, and many have real combat experience. Since the beginning of this century, the US has been involved in military conflicts in Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Somalia, Libya, Uganda, and Yemen.
America. But this is the type of wars they are not prepared, but this army are made for, you know, because the true war, the biggest war will be nukes. Everyone will be nuke each other. But this, like Russia against Ukraine, they are using normal military. They are not using nukes because Russia knows can win against Ukraine. They have more power. China, if China invades a small country, they know they can win against a small country. They will not use nukes. But if Russia against United States, Russia against China, China against United States, they will use nukes because they can't win in normal matters.
While other countries still rely on conscripts to fill the numbers, the US can field an army of well-trained, experienced professionals. The equipment, the military assets, and the technology used in combat have excellent quality. This is the defining reason why US casualties are usually fewer than those of their adversaries. The strong ability to project power is another defining trait of the United States military. Size, technology, and experience are nothing if you can't reach the enemy. Power projection is the ability of a state to deploy and sustain forces outside its territory. Only a few states are capable to overcome the difficulties that involve power projection, and the US excels at it. This is made possible by several factors. The home base of the US is safe. The neighbouring countries are friendly. Potential enemies are far away. The large landmass makes it a country that is hard to invade. It also has coastlines along 2 oceans and strategic islands that hold military bases. The US forces can reach far, fast, and deploy great numbers of forces supported by the enforcement of air and sea superiority, combined with excellent transportation capabilities. Even if it doesn't engage in combat, the US can enforce naval and air blockades that can severely cripple an enemy's economy. The US has by far the largest network of military bases operating outside of its territory. Information regarding the exact number and location of such bases involves classified
America.
information, so we can only estimate the total extent of the overseas military presence. Back in 2013, the Pentagon stated that there were around
It's kind of crazy because United States has military base in all world. You know, Africa, Asia, Europe, South America. They have bases in all the world, and we don't know which base has nukes. I don't know if you can know that, but I probably say it's secret. And they have a lot of nukes in all the world.
600 military bases overseas.
It's not funny, but
A rough estimate would be around 1,000 overseas US military compounds. Approximately 165,000 military personnel is stationed outside the United States. This doesn't include areas of conflict such as Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. The US has significant forces deployed in around 55 countries and autonomous territories. It is also estimated that more than 150 countries have a certain degree of US military presence. Alliances. The United States can rely on a vast network of alliances. It is the de facto leader of NATO, the world's strongest military alliance. 18 other countries are designated as major non-NATO allies. This list
Brazil.
includes countries like Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea, Philippines, Thailand, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Egypt, Israel, Argentina, and Brazil. Taiwan's status is a bit more complicated and it can be considered a de facto ally. Some countries are not formal allies but have a strong strategic partnership with the US. One notable example is India, that participates in regular military drills together with US forces and some of its allies. Economy. Modern warfare is sustained in the long term by two main factors: the capacity to produce military equipment and the capacity to spend money on defence. American defence companies are the indisputable top producers of weaponry. Among the world's top 10 defence suppliers, 5 of them are American companies. Lockheed Martin is the biggest. It reported a revenue of almost them are American companies.
America, UK, America, Europe, France, Italy, Russia. We don't know. We don't have data about China. You know, China do China stuff. If United States has secrets, imagine China.
Lockheed Martin is the biggest. It reported a revenue of almost 60 billion US dollars in 2019. That's close to Russia's entire annual military spending. The strength of the US military is also due to its huge military budget. In 2019, spending on the US military was a whopping 732 billion US dollars. That's almost 3 times more than China, the world's second largest military spender, and it is.
Again, I don't know if we can be we can be really sure. I don't know if we can know the fact that China is paying only, but yeah, China it's very close. So, but United States, don't get me wrong, United States in military power, I guess, is number one by far for now. But China has nukes. Russia has nukes. You know.
Is roughly 1/3 of the entire world's defence budget. While Russia is commonly regarded as the second most powerful army in the world, its budget consists of only $65 billion. Arguably, there is an aspect of purchasing power. For example, it's cheaper to pay a Russian or Chinese soldier, but the cost of high-quality military equipment is still.
But again, China, Russia is not that strong in military anymore like was before. You know, United States is way superior. How am I to say stuff like that? I'm no one. I'm just a normal Brazilian dude, but I'm guessing. Because Russia is not the rich country like the United States, but they have nukes. They have a lot of nukes. That's why no one talks shit about Russia, you know, and never will.
The same around the world. The reason that the US can afford such an enormous military budget is that it's supported by a strong economy. America has been the world's largest economy since 1871. Its nominal GDP is currently 21.44 trillion US dollars. This is almost a quarter of the global economy, and it's backed with plenty of natural resources, advanced infrastructure, and technology. Besides the ability to sustain an enormous defence budget, the US often uses its economic strength as a weapon by enforcing economic sanctions. Soft factors. Soft power is another factor that comes into play when assessing a country's might. The US is world-beating in culture, education, and technology. American pop culture has an enormous influence, and this won't change anytime soon. America also hosts most of the world's top-ranking universities with a record number of international students. The US leads the world of technology and digitalization as home to the world's most influential tech companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Facebook. It's easy to think that this doesn't seem important in warfare, but imagine an enemy soldier that would have to attack the country where his cousin studies, the country of his favourite music band, the country of his favourite actors from the movie that he watches on an American media platform like YouTube, or an American smartphone with American software. Finally, there is another critical aspect. It is called the will to fight, and this is the single most important factor in war. The will to fight is the disposition to engage in combat, the determination to keep fighting even when facing precarious odds, and finally, to win. At an individual level, a soldier with a low will to fight will avoid engagement with the enemy and is likely to flee when things get tough. A battle is won when the enemy's will to fight is broken. Wars don't end when one military destroys the other. Wars end when one side grows weary of fighting, doesn't see any further purpose in the continuation of the conflict, and gives up.
Yeah.
The national will to fight is what keeps a nation fighting. This is commonly linked to a sense of patriotism, national identity.
I don't know, guys, if you are American or not, but I didn't feel. I guess they are not real soldiers over here. This is looking like. How can I say that? It's not fixed the word. It's recorded in a studio. It's not in a real fight because they. I don't know how to say that, but they don't look like soldiers. When you see a soldier, you know that this motherfucker is a fucking soldier. They don't look like that. Maybe they are, and I'm sorry if they are. But yeah, that's it, guys. It's kind of crazy. Again, I repeated myself 1,000,000 times. We are not fighting because a lot of countries have nukes. So don't forget the armed American citizens, guys, come on. I know American loves to say things. In my opinion, it's very positive to have a gun in your home, but this won't defend you against a nuke bomb. Yeah, guys, that was the video. Like it, and see you guys in the next one.